Welcome to our channel. Here, you'll find captivating stories filled with love, mystery, and emotions that touch the heart. Stay with us for unforgettable tales. Love Story, Whispers of Eternity. Part 1, A Love Written in the Stars. The grand ball at Chateau Lumière was the most awaited event of the year. Beneath golden chandeliers, noblemen and elegant ladies danced, their laughter mingling with the soft melody of violins. Among them, Isabel, dressed in a flowing sapphire gown, stood near the balcony, gazing. At the moonlit gardens below, she had never cared for these grand events. They felt empty, like a play, where everyone knew their roles. But tonight felt different. A strange feeling whispered in her heart, as if something was about to change. Then she saw him. A man stood at the far end of the ballroom, his dark eyes watching her with quiet intensity. He was not like the others, no. Overpolished nobility, no forced charm. He was dressed elegantly, but simply his presence both commanding and mysterious, as if pulled by an unseen force. Isabel stepped forward. Before she could think, he was in front of her. "You seem lost in thought," he said, his voice deep and warm. Isabel studied him, her heart pounding. "And you seem far too observant," she replied, a playful smile touching her lips. He chuckled. "I apologize. It's a habit of mine to notice things that others do not." For the first time in years, Isabel felt awake. She extended her hand. "Isabel." "Alexander," he said, taking her hand gently. The music swelled, and without another word, he led her into a dance. It was different from the rehearsed, rigid steps she was used to. This felt like a secret conversation, a meeting of souls beyond words. But deep in her heart, she knew this was only the beginning. Part 2, Hearts Drawn Closer. The night continued at Chateau Lumière, but for Isabel and Alexander, time felt different. Every moment they danced, it was as if a new world formed between them, a world where only they existed. After the dance, Alexander didn't let go of Isabel's hand. He led her toward the balcony, where the cool night air carried the scent of jasmine. "You are different from the others." "You are different from the others, Isabel." His voice was calm, but filled with something deep. Isabel smiled. "And you are unlike anyone I have ever met." For a few moments, there was only silence between them. The stars sparkled above, and the moonlight cast a soft glow on Alexander's face. "Tell me, why don't you like these gatherings?" Alexander asked. Isabel sighed. "Because everyone here wears a mask, but tonight, I feel like I don't need one." Alexander looked at her with understanding. "Sometimes in the middle of a crowd, you find someone who truly sees you, without a mask." Isabel gazed into his eyes. For the first time in her life, she felt safe, but at that moment, a familiar voice called her name. "Isabel!" She turned, her heart sinking, as she saw her brother, Duke Julian, approaching quickly. Part 3, A Love Written by Fate. Isabel held her breath. Julian's face was tense and filled with anger. "What are you doing here?" His voice echoed in the quiet night. Alexander stepped forward. "I was merely having a conversation with your sister." Julian's gaze turned cold. "Who are you? Which family do you belong to?" Alexander hesitated for a moment, then said, "My family does not matter. But what does matter?" He looked at Isabel. "Is that for the first time I have found something I have always been searching for?" Isabel stared at him, her heart pounding. Julian's expression darkened. You have no idea who you are speaking to. Isabel is already engaged. Silence fell over them like a heavy weight. Alexander turned to Isabel. Is that true? His voice was soft but unsteady. Isabel closed her eyes. The truth she had been running from had finally caught up with her. Yes, but it was never my choice. Alexander exhaled slowly, as if battling something within himself. Julian grabbed Isabel's arm. It's time to go. But just as they turned, Alexander spoke. One question. Julian stopped. Alexander stepped closer. If it were her choice, what would she do? Isabel locked eyes with him. A moment that lasted only seconds. Felt like eternity. I would choose you. Julian's breath hitched in rage, but before he could react, Alexander took Isabel's hand and said, Then come with me. And that night, under the endless stars, Isabel made a choice that would change her fate forever.